Hello, hello. Hope everybody's doing well.
Huh?
Anywho, today I've been off. I've been off and on sleeping. Um, my boss was kind enough to allow me to have today, well, technically yesterday off, and took took advantage of it, made the most of it, and rest. Well, when you're on the regular Zoom because you can't use OBS, it doesn't want to show up. So, and hello, Donna, Amber, and Nat. It's good to see you guys. But yeah, I've been sleeping a lot today and just resting because I've been working literally every single day. My body said I'm tired. Um, Update with me, my um the infection is not as bad. It's not as painful, and it's kind of I don't know how it's kind of like still there, but it's not as heavy, I guess. Um, Definitely a lot of the pain is and swelling's gone, thank God. But it's definitely been a journey I had to deal with. Yeah, I have two different abscess teeth that both basically became active. Um, it's swollen, but not really swollen. I can't feel a difference. It feels like it's almost back to normal, except for one spot on my face. That's it. Um, I'm being very careful of how I'm eating, how I'm chewing. There for the longest time, I had to cut up a lot of my food because part of the abscess is on my front teeth, and yeah, it was very sensitive. I don't blame you, Amber. Um, but still, it's been a rough week and a half, almost 2 weeks. Um, for me personally, I've been for the longest time I've been wearing masks, um, especially while I'm at work. And part of it was a promise to my parents to help try to avoid um, getting the pandemic on top of everything else. So, but because of how uncomfortable it was while I have the abscess or whatever, I took I had to forego the mask because it was just making things worse. So I've been taking my vitamins and doing what I'm supposed to do to help keep my immunity up. Um, I have tried to call dentist. They don't want to call me back. I have called several places and none of them gave me a call back this past week. So now it's at the point where I'm going to find a place outside of town that may be able to take me in quickly. Well, that's good, Amber. But yeah, I'm not sure how long I'll be on. I'm just kind of giving you guys updates and want to chit chat and hang out with y'all and see how you guys are doing. So, but yeah, I get it, Donna. I did need to rest, but because the reason why they can't is most places are not accepting new patients, and then there are some that are not exactly equipped to take on an emergency like that. They won't just fit you in anywhere.
Yes, I did. Thank you. Well, I heard that Michael Elliott murder. I thought I should contact you.
So it's kind of in this, especially in this county, they normally don't um try to put you when it, and this happened last month and I basically gave up too. They're like, we'll call you when you have when we have an opening, but that's all we can do. And my poor doctor I seen at the ER, she understood what I meant by it, because when I explained about no dentist or like calling me back or anything, she told me with as bad as swelling as I had at the time, you could visibly see that it was swollen. I should have gone in there to the reception desk and tell them, look, I need an appointment now. Because when I explained it over the phone that I've been, and I've explained it till I'm blue in the face, my situation, they still acted like it didn't matter. Hey Jenna, it's good to see you. Yeah, I've been kind of, today has just been on and off, going to sleep, waking up. I did go out for a few minutes. Then when I come home with my parents, I went to sleep. I just now woke up, so not been bad. I hope everybody's doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm really not in that much pain right now. Um, I still have my moments where I am in pain, but it's not nearly as bad as what it has been before. And one of them is pertaining to one of my teeth that's on the top, and it is somewhat connected to my sinuses. When it started happening, it messed with my sinuses, so it was almost like I had a huge sinus headache on top of having a tooth that hurt. So my whole face was hurting. um Thankfully the medicine is doing somewhat okay.
Yes, ma'am. She'll be right with you. Why don't you have a seat?
Oh, wow. I don't blame you, Jenna.
Not really. It's been a tough morning. Michael Elliott was a very special person. He goes in. We started working here at about the same time.
Right, Amber. Um, I know I did agree to it, but because of the way everything's going with my face, it does hurt sometimes to talk.
To be truthful,
It's
directly with him that much.
not as good like when I do talk. Sometimes it irritates it more.
Don't worry. Did he work on any sensitive classified issue?
No, they're not pleasant at all. Those teeth problems for me, I just assume get all my teeth out,
Would you please call
get some dentures, and just move on
Do you know if Michael
and get out of this whole situation with my mouth. I've had a lot of issues with my teeth over the years, and
an intelligent young man like Michael Elliott would have anything to do
I've been in pain. Usually, I'm in some kind of constant pain when it comes to my teeth, and I do what I can where I can when it comes to my teeth. Um, but I still move forward. Um, this past week, even though my face was hurting, I dealt with it the best way I could while I was working, and I still managed to work with it messing with me. Um, and it's just the way I am, you know. You you gotta work, and then people were counting on me. And here's something that I'm kind of not happy about. It's just one issue, and it's not just in one place. It's in a lot of different places of employment. You work in a store, or so some place that's got very few employees. You call in for anything, most likely everybody else is going to end up picking up the slack. And even then, what ends up happening is people that are working um might end up being by themselves working, and it's really hard on them to do everything they're supposed to do for that day. So when you work at a place that has very few employees, you matter in that line of work. Um, there's people that are not willing to come in extra. There's people that don't like to step up and do more or get that extra few dollars to work. And, that's up to them. But when you call out, it messes the whole day up, not just for the person that you're working with, but it messes up the days afterward. The progress isn't there.
this is gonna be good. Deeply removed bile. Like that.
And when it comes to picking up shifts, that's my thing. I'm always willing to help out, and I'm willing to come in when there's a shift that's um not expected. I'm kind of left wide open when it comes to that, and I've got an open mind. I'm willing to work, get out of the house and work for a little while. Hey, my nephew Cody, how are you? And there are people that are very similar to me. They're willing to do pick up shifts. They're willing to work. They're willing to do a lot of stuff to help the company out. Jen, never got notification. I'm sorry to hear that, Jen. I'm glad you're here. But yeah, I've been kind of I got today. I feel like I deserved it. I got to be lazy today. Every single day this past week, even most of last week. Um, it's been nonstop going to work, nonstop doing stuff. And I think in a couple of days, if I hadn't took the opportunity to take today off, I probably would have been completely burned out and I just would have been like, I don't care anymore. that's just that's just me. I will burn myself out trying to help, and definitely need to take care of myself too. This past week it couldn't really be helped for me to work, but I was fine with that. Because we were very limited on employees at the time. So I done what I could. I stepped up. Now it's time for me to kind of get back into a regular routine. And I've been trying my best to work full time. And the only reason why I'm wanting to work full time is to get the benefits of having health insurance. So that way I can get tests done, get test run and whatnot, and get my health back under control some.
I invented Big Fruit underwear. I started Mix 10 years ago, and honestly, there was nothing like it. I knew that people leaked. I knew that underwear could be better, and now people everywhere are switching to Wheat Fruit, and I can't wait for you to try it.
I'll be up again in 15 minutes. I remember as a caregiver, I had a lot of people do that. And then I'm like, nope, you're going to bed. We did everything we possibly could do. It's time to go to sleep. But I'm picking up the pace a little bit more.
Senator O'Hara's staff has been focused on a budget cut bill.
Marie.
Commander Saxon told us he was asked to prepare a report assessing.
So how is everybody? I hadn't really got a chance to sit down and talk to everybody much. Here and there on DM. But hadn't really got a chance to talk to everybody. So you were kind of in my boat, Amber. Slept a lot. Sleeping is not a bad thing. Yep, he's okay, but it's progressive, going with the flow. Yeah, I don't blame you there one bit. Mine, they just wanted to, I don't know what it was, because where I worked at, everybody had health issues, but it didn't cause them to get up in the middle of the night trying to sneak food. That's kind of their thing. The people I took care of, they'd love to sneak food and try to eat. But I got to where I was sleeping basically on the couch. Just so if something happens, I'm right there with them. Oh, that's understandable, Amber. And don't mind the background noise if you guys hear it. It's TV going. My mom's watching TV. So, but yeah, it sucks when you have an infection that doesn't want to go away. And it definitely sucks when you're trying to take care of that. You finally get the courage to call up because I'm scared of dentists, guys. I'm not like scared, but I'm scared enough that I don't want to be put through pain. And there's a lot of dentists that may or may not care. And I know one dentist that is still around today that made my mom very, very sick. And this happened when I was a kid. My mom had an infection and they decided to pump it full of Novocaine just to get that area essentially deadened so they could pull the tooth. My mom did not know any better, and she had active infection that was really, really bad. She told them to pull it. They pulled it. She felt every bit of that. And then afterward, for at least 3 or 4 weeks, she was laid up on the couch, sick as a dog. Mom lost 20 pounds too, she's just said. Ever since then, I've been scared of dentists. I don't want dentists messing with my teeth. And then this is when I was little. This was like around the age of 9 or 10 years old. I remember at 15, another dentist, it wasn't the dentists themselves, it was the dental hygienist people that get your teeth prepped up for like fillings and whatnot. They tend to put like a metal cap around the tooth and make like a tent so that way nothing gets into your mouth. Well, they went to put the metal ring around my tooth and it popped off. And if I didn't clamp down in the back of my throat or the back of my mouth, that metal ring would have gone down my throat. Try to punch dentists at 16 because I felt them pull it. Yes. I want them to knock me out when they go to do this stuff because I'm not putting up with being aware and awake for them to pull my teeth or to take my teeth out. The majority of my teeth are broken and most of it not existent.
I'm in the best place I've been in for 30 years.
Yeah. So ever since then, I've had a real big fear of dentists. My jaw can't handle being open for very long without causing a lot of pain.
You're marrying a girl young enough to be your granddaughter, and you got her pregnant. How do you expect him to react?
It almost feels like my jaw wants to dislocate. That's how bad it is. And so I just need a dentist that is basically really gentle, really understanding that I've had bad experiences with dentists, and even though it shouldn't be that way, and people shouldn't be scared to get things taken care of, that they work with you. That's kind of thing.
What if I told you that we can tie Bodine to Senator O'Hara?
Need to get if you need to get your tooth pulled out, you want to be sedated. Yeah, I want to be sedated enough to where I don't know what's going on. You don't have to put me completely under, but you don't. I definitely don't want to be my mindset to be there. So, but yeah, that's just me.
owns a service company
That's just how I work.
supplies to U.S. Navy vessels in several Asian ports.
And I know that there's a lot of people I know that are leery about dentists and whatnot.
She's a bride. Mike Lillard found out about it. Was killed by Bo Dean. Yeah, well, we better be right if we're going to accuse one of the most powerful women on the hill of bribery.
We're a different kind of dentistry. One who believes in doing.
Yeah, that is pretty pricey.
We offer a complete exam and x-rays free to new patients without insurance every day.
My problem is when they pull the teeth and stuff, I smoke. And when you get a tooth pulled or anything to do with your teeth and you have to let it heal. You can't smoke, you can't drink through a straw. You can't basically do a lot of stuff until that tooth heals because you get a dry socket. And a cousin of mine had gotten a dry socket and they had to pack it every single day for so many days until it healed up. Ben Linebacker, hello, it is good to see you. And yeah, I ended up going down memory lane today too. That video that I done in memory of to this day, even now, after I've posted it a couple of months ago, it still makes me cry. Because not only has there been people that were listed on there that are not listed on there during that time. Even now, there's still people that have passed, and it makes me so sad that they're gone.
Treatments can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms first appear. If you have symptoms of COVID-19, even if they're mild, don't wait. Get tested quickly. If you test positive, you are at high risk for severe disease.
So basically, it, and people don't realize, and I'm going to say this out loud. People are like, move on with life, get over it. You done your grieving process, and it's time to move on. To those people that say that shit, who the hell are you to tell us when it's okay to move on and it's okay to do stuff? People that are grieving should be able to grieve however long it's going to take. When you lose somebody special or anything like that, you don't get over it. You don't. You deal. You learn to deal with it and life at the same time, but it never ever goes away. It makes me so mad that people says that. If one more I flew. Yes. I've seen people make messages and they're like, it's been a few months since my family member's gone and I'm moving on with life. Well, good for you. That's not everybody else. Some people deal with stuff in their own way, in a weird way. And we may see it as weird. For them, they are just doing what they can.
Privatized audio files. Wow. What a sleazeball. There's wiretapping like half of Washington. If he was still alive, we could put him away for like 1,000 years.
Exactly, Jenna.
Elliot's calls.
And Van Life Biker, my job is going great. I have I've worked almost 2 weeks straight. Part of it is we're understaffed, and I kind of stepped up to the plate. And
Sounded totally paranoid.
I am one of those people, I guess you could say, is manager on duty during my shifts most of the time, unless another manager's there. But I finally got today off. And I've been sleeping all day.
Ports of Polynesia. These 3 ports are serviced by Calvin Ling's company.
But yeah, that is really rude, and
We voted on this afternoon.
it does upset people when you tell them to get over it, or you tell them, don't you think it's time to move on? Grief has no time frame. I see a van in your near future. I wouldn't mind having a van. I've actually thought about making my own little build with a van, or have it to where I have the option to have that set up really quickly. So that way I could travel and I don't have to stay in hotels, or, just be able to have a decent, place. If I get tired while I'm traveling, I could just lay down and rest in a safe place and not have to worry about it. Get a minivan. Yes. Because all I really need is enough room for me to have a small bed, and maybe either a fridge or something to that effect. I don't like cooking, so I'd get stuff that's ready to eat, that's refrigerated mostly, and stick it in a little bitty fridge. A Winnebago. But that's me just dreaming. I see on Facebook Marketplace all the time all these little deals. People are trying to sell vehicles and whatnot. And I want to get it, but I don't have the funds right now to do so. A microwave? I don't know about a microwave. I might. We shall see. No hot plate. Hell no, no hot plate.
We've also traced several calls Bodine made to a cell phone registered to your office.
No, that can't be right. Why would any member of my staff be?
But
Whose phone did he call?
when it comes to traveling, I wanna at least start out small, like go to the mountains, go to the beach. Cause here in North Carolina, you got the best of both worlds. Love to travel like that, someplace small before I start heading out. Air fryers are better than fans. Yeah, it looks like everybody's going after air fryers nowadays more than microwaves, which I find interesting. My mom's got an air fryer. got for a Christmas present, and we've been using the heck out of it.
An instant pot.
And she's gotten an Instapot for Christmas, so she's kind of.
Asked to delay the vote on the foreclosure bill due to the arrest of one of my staff members by
Not sure.
NCIS and Capitol
Only been
Police.
regular
And under the circumstances, I
old
will
school
join on this committee.
campers, never an RV or the new vans.
Those Capitol Police, they found 25,000.
Oh, that's cool, Amber.
McCall straps again from Morrison's apartment. Anything else? Yeah, pictures of her and Bodine and McCall, plus his fingerprints and his DNA.
So when we met Jennifer, those tears weren't for Michael Elliott, they were for her dead boyfriend.
Police report
So,
that we traced all evidence we have.
but yeah, that's my biggest plan. A 2006 Sprinter van. If you can afford one. I think you'll enjoy it, honey bubs. A lot of people, I like it because it's you can cook just about everything, but when it comes to like homemade stuff, you got to be careful because you can only put a certain amount of little bit of oil on your food. I think the max has said like 2 tablespoons of oil in whatever you're cooking is the max, because you don't want it to catch fire.
I think it's weird.
Exactly what I thought. That's what I saw them together.
Amber.
Does your mom know what she's in for?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, Van Loff.
Thank God you're here. I was afraid you weren't going to show. She looks great, doesn't she?
Oh, thank you. Where's my mother?
Definitely trying to avoid. I'm trying to get a vehicle that is efficient on fuel.
Listen, I won't apologize.
But it's still got that get up and go. I know a lot of bigger cars like to eat up gas, and I don't like that. I want something that's like a V6, I guess you could say, at the max, a V6. Just have liability. But it's definitely one of those things I've been looking forward to, was looking at different cars, trying to figure out which would be the best for me.
Some extra space right back here. This being good. This is perfect. The Hero Comfort Foundation is supposed to give away 1,000 of these t-shirts at the concert. So we just really got to fast. Yeah, I know the drill. That's not why I think this particular food war.
Hi, Shaw woman. It is good to see you. Yeah, but I'm kind of trying to play catch up with everybody. Decided to go live, and yes, I still have my picture off because internet situation is not that great here. That is true, Amory. my family decided they would go to Burger King to get some food, and I have a drink cup that's still here. The drink is gone, but the ice is still there. And even now, there is some ice still in that cup.
We went to Zaxby's first.
What do you mean you're serious?
Hmm?
We went to Zaxby's first.
Oh yeah, we went to Zaxby's first, but we couldn't get any food because apparently there was a gas leak and everybody ended up having to leave.
That you would trust me to plan your wedding. Nothing would give me greater pleasure than to plan your wedding. Hello? No, 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 no. He just pulled this is my wedding gift to him card. Well, it's a very nice one.
Oh, that's true, Jen.
Take the shot.
Forget it. No, my wedding was so small. I practically eloped. Give me a down payment on the house or a mortgage.
That sounds like a great idea.
I did this, but Catherine Heigl and Jayla have a common wedding planner. No, Tony. No.
And that sounds great,
Come on.
Van Life Biker.
Sites out there that walk you through the whole process. Help you make a budget, plan a guest list, and more invitations. List. It's one of my favorite sites.
Do it yourself.
Oh.
Yeah. Goblet fan's pretty classy, huh?
No, that reminds me, I need to take my medicine here in a minute. Ugh.
I am not paying for the wedding. I am planning the wedding. You sure? Was your dad that specific?
I get tired of this, and part of my problem, I think, is the fact that
That's straight angle, huh? Exactly.
I'm having to take one medicine every 6 hours. That's 4 times a day. And so I have to wake up at odd hours just to take this medicine. And that's my antibiotic. And then the other one is to help with pain. And it's
Fire chief doesn't know yet the cause of the explosion.
it's like twice a day at the max. I could take it.
Yeah. The big thing was what killed by the explosion itself. Yeah, or something else.
I even have to take my medicine with me to work so I can take it on time. Like I have to specifically stop what I'm doing just to take this medicine so that way I don't start having pain and the medicine doesn't wear off. Before my build, it got over 20 miles per gallon. That ain't bad. I guess it gets bogged down because of what you were doing to the van. It's a 5-cylinder diesel.
It's one thing we know how to do. It's improvise. The show will go on. You should dedicate this to Damien. This was an accident. This was the source of the explosion. It's a warhead shell from North 24.
That don't sound bad. Yeah, that's why I was thinking is the weight because of the. See, Van Life Biker is transforming his van into a van that he can live out of. And that he's also got like washer dryer, he's got the microwave, probably a fridge, not just a bed in there. And I'm pretty sure that the weight is the issue with why it kind of went down a little bit on the miles per gallon. I have thought about that, but my mom and my dad, because of where I live, people have been known to get hurt. driving a scooter bike. So, yep. So can't do that without having people pitching a fit at me. But when it comes to a car though, slowly but surely I'm gonna get one. It's just gonna take me some time, and as much as I want to help others, I'm gonna have to start saying no to people, and I hate doing that. I thought about that, but I was just saying get a small trailer. Yeah, yeah, I get that. And thank you guys for all coming in and hanging out with me. There's a lot of people that come in hitting that like button and sharing it out, and I appreciate it. Trailers are cool, but it limits you in cities. Yeah, I get that. No, I hadn't heard about that, Amber.
Google Pixel 6. For only you are. Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Did you know that every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care? A 2-year or 25,000-mile maintenance plan and roadside assistance. That's the value you can expect from Toyota.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
That's awesome, Van. Like if you guys want to check out Van Life Biker, you're more than welcome to do so.
And say no thanks to a Boston.
And not touch it till you hit your goal. Yes.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems.
Here is Van Life Biker's channel. If you guys want to check him out, he just like he said, he's documented the build of his van, and tries to help others do their builds. And that sounds like a great idea. And I always find these kind of things very interesting.
Where he didn't gain a pound, which is impressive. Being around all that food all the time. I mean, if that were me, I'd.
But yeah, Jen, that sounds like a great idea. I'm also looking into building my credit back up, and I've got me an opportunity to get to have a credit card, which the credit card is only going to be used for medical purposes. There's a GoFundMe. Well, that really sucks that happened to her. You just never know what can happen with pets. They may be the sweetest thing in the world, but they can end up doing some damage if their owners aren't careful. Hardest part for everyone is electrical. I get that. Totally get that about the electrical part. You just never know what's going to happen. And one thing I know for certain, always remember which one is the ground versus which one is the hot. Because if you get the hot and the ground mixed up, you can have some trouble. That's as far as I know, as far as the electrical stuff. Oh, wow. Hey, Chief. It is so good to see you, hon.
The sleep cycle of an infant is only 50 minutes. If you have to change the diaper of a sleeping child, you need to be efficient. I would also
Heck,
that you need to keep a light
as much trouble as Ghost Dog was having on his stream, yes, definitely you will have a bad day. Get that stuff mixed up, you will definitely have a bad day. Yesterday, Ghost Dog attempted to do live stream, and it kept cutting out. It kept going down. He kept getting kicked out of his game. It was me and Chief with Ghost Dog trying to play a few games, and Ghost Dog finally gave up. He's like, I'm over this. So he played something else. Me and Chief played, and I have to say, I think we've done pretty good. On the Bigfoot game we played. Oh, that's cool, Van Life. I can't wait to play again with Chief. On any game. I plan on getting a game that he has been suggesting to me to get, and I want to get it. It's a little on the expensive side for me because I don't like paying over $20 for a game. But I would love to play it with him. I'm the type, I will try any game and I will play it until I get stuck. At least get stuck. And there are some games that I'm trying to update, which is a slow going process. Chief sexy bull. But as long as nobody else was on the computer last night, it seemed like my internet kind of held up pretty good. Hey Vicky, it's getting better. I'm still taking antibiotics and pain medicine, but it's not as painful as it had been.
No more questions.
I'm still looking for a dentist. None of the people I talked to called me back. And I'm at that point where I am expanding out to different cities in my surrounding area to try to get a dentist to do something about it. So that's as far as I've gone so far on my journey with these teeth. Now, today I have taken the day off. My boss made a comment yesterday and she's like, everybody else has had days off except for you. And mentioned that she would be willing to take time and work today, so I could be off today, and that was Sunday. And so I took her up on her offer, and I ended up sleeping most of the day. Oh, congrats, Van Life. I hope it goes well. Definitely will be able to see you again. I got 6 people up in the house. Appreciate y'all being here. Just kind of chit chatting and giving updates and whatnot. On you guys, I am so happy. I figured out some things on my Femora finally. And I've been working on the video that I wanted to show you guys. It's going to be called A Girl's Day Out, but it's an explorer. Part of the things that I do on my channel is when exactly, Vicky, it does suck having to go out of town. When it comes to a lot of different issues, I do not trust my hometown hospital. I would rather, because I'm not too far away from several cities, I would rather go to one of those cities' hospitals than to get seen here at this hospital.
Now you know. Try it for free at freestylelibre.us.
Oh, that's going to be interesting, Ben Loft. But the last time I went to my hospital, it took about 2 hours just in and out. I didn't have a room. I ended up sitting in a chair in the hallway, right across from the triage nurse, waiting on somebody to talk to me. And they happened. Is it bad if it seemed like it's something that they do on a regular basis? I know with the pandemic going on, they a lot of times had to do that. But, and I didn't mind sitting out there waiting. I would rather be there than to be in a room and get forgotten, which they have done to me before. So it wasn't nothing like it was an emergency, but it wasn't the kind of emergency that I needed to have to lay in bed and wait on them for the entire night. So very happy about that. They definitely were nice there and quite understanding about my face. So, but it did help. So when you have no dentist, you have teeth problems, and one of the biggest things I'm going to say is do not hesitate to get seen by a doctor. It does not have to be a dentist to diagnose if you have an abscess or not. And they are most likely willing to help you. They will give you antibiotics, and they will fuss at you to go get a dentist appointment. When it comes to having abscess, that's the biggest thing that they do. If it gets left untreated, it can spread, and it can worst case scenario, you can develop something called sepsis, which is that infection goes into the bloodstream, and sepsis is a pretty nasty thing to deal with. So any doctor would be more or less able to help you out, because it can develop into a really big problem later on. So they nip it in the butt as much as they can.
Back to NCIS, where you're gonna make us a list of suspects, then off to a hotel we contract as a safe house.
Afraid to see the van build after. I'm sure it's just fine. I'm sure it's going to be just fine, van life. A lot of people dropped out, but it's so good to see everybody. And yes, I promised you guys when I had a day off, I was going to go live just to hang out with you guys. I do plan on starting up Midnight Madness, but the thing is, I'm going to be. I'm joking. Of course, I know. But you might find something that you missed while you've been working on it. But Midnight Madness is going to be revamped up. I'm not going to tell you guys what days I will be doing it. In Midnight Madness, I will be allowing people to come up on panel with me, and we sit there and chit chat during the Midnight Madness. Anything can be talked about within reason, because you know how YouTube has been. And we've had some really great events happen on Midnight Madness. Had a bunch of things. We've even had an explorer, or a couple of explorers. That would be funny, but but yeah, Midnight Madness will be coming back. It's a lot of people seem to like it. A lot of people are up at this time anyway. Doesn't mean that we're going to be going all night like we had been, but it does mean that gives us all the opportunity to hang out, check things out, have different opinions. Only thing I ask is, when it comes to people's opinions, respect it. Don't attack people. Debate on the ideas that are being talked about, whatever the topic may be. That's my biggest thing.
So if you work your way back from the scene of the car accident, you could probably find out where his brake line was punctured.
Well, drummer's dead, bass player dead.
But
This guy's in jail.
but yeah, I'm definitely gung ho. I want to get going on several things that I've been wanting to do, and I'm starting to look at doing more things myself. It makes sense. Yes. I'm gonna start doing more self-care. I'm going to have to start telling people no about certain things. I'm not going to be stretching myself thin. I've done that before, and I cannot keep doing it. I'm physically, mentally tired from a lot of stuff that I have done in the past. And I know with me working as much as I do, it's going to mess up doing anything else for others. So I got to be careful, and I'm not trying to say I'm being selfish, but I'm kind of being selfish on this. But yeah, I am going to be working towards that goal and getting myself a vehicle, even if it's something that I could just drive around just to go to work and back. Hell yeah, van life. Yes, overtime. Considering this past week I had worked every single day, overtime is going to be fun. It's just,
First things first.
it's going to be the start of what I'm going to be doing. So,
Well, I said,
and I told them if they need me for something or whatever, I'm definitely gonna I'm just gonna keep that in the back of my mind. I'm not gonna ever tell them no. Only reason why I would um tell them no is if something bad has happened. The only time I've ever really gotten any time off was when I had to go to funerals. That was it. Can't wait to get back to work. I can't wait for you to be able to get back to work and on your feet again. I know you've been through a lot, van life. And you're right, show woman. Self care is not selfish. Self care is helping yourself and focusing on yourself for the betterment of yourself. Being selfish is when you have every ample opportunity to help somebody and you refuse to do it. And I'm not refusing because I want to refuse or have that choice. I I tend to be the type of person I want to help everybody out. I'm gonna starve soon. Oh no. And welcome back, Jenna. I, after the whole 3 or 4 years that I've not worked, and then I worked for that little bit of time, where I was at before, gave me a taste of what it was like to work again, and I kept wanting to work it. Not only was it helpful as far as money wise, but it was also helpful for the fact that I knew I could do it again. And when I when I got this job, and this is the really funny part, y'all. When I got this job, what I had done was I went through, even before that, I had kind of took something that was said to me as a challenge from one of my best friends, because they were like, when they get their job, they're going to do this, that, and the other. Well, in the back of my mind, one of the reasons why I did want to get a job was to help others, you know. And I'm not saying let them ride on my back as I'm working and putting the effort into working. It was more or less me, if somebody has an emergency and if I could send funds to help them in that emergency, I was more than willing to do that. I couldn't do it before. Um, Another reason was I needed to get me a car. That's what's been keeping me from having a job this entire time to begin with. And so when I put in the applications, I didn't think I was going to get a job. Not enable. Yeah, there's a fine line between enabling somebody and helping somebody out. It will, and I agree with you, Showwoman. It will take your peace if you do too much of it. You stretch yourself to so thin that what you started out with great intentions ends up being something that is sucking you dry, and you don't want to do that.
Your healthcare provider if the oral treatment is right for you. Oral treatments can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms first appear. If you have symptoms of COVID-19, even if they're mild, don't wait. Get tested quickly. All live in our high risk for severe disease.
Wow, Van Life, you will be making some money.
Treatment was fast, and now you can too. And it's easy to get
With what you have told me before about your work,
Sorry, what's that?
you're gonna be bringing in some dough, from what I gather. Me, I work. I work a good bit, and a lot of people are like, "Why?" When that, and people aren't supposed to do this, but they do ask about pay, and because I really don't care, I will say something about it. And they're like, "Why are you working so hard for that amount of money?" And I'm like, "Because I love where I work at. I love the people that I work with. It's a great team. The people that are still there, it's a great team. The boss is understandable and is willing to work with you, even go as far as helping you with a ride if need be." And that's why I've worked my booty off where I'm at now. And my thing is the driving factor as to why I'm still there. And some people that started when I did are gone. It's just for me, I see a lot of effort being put in from the people I work with, even the manager, and there's a certain kind of way to do, you know, and I've never ever seen somebody who's a manager or has a management team, like an assistant and all that, that's willing to go and help not only with kind words but kind actions. A lot of times it's everybody's fending for themselves, doing what they can, keep struggling and still trying to do it. And then it creates a miserable environment to work in. When it comes to the job that I'm working at, I want to be there. I want to help out because I've had a lot of acts of kindness towards me from those other people.
stains disappear. Do that again. It saves the things you love and saves the money. OxyClean. You make it work. Magic.
Oh wow, Van Loft, that's cool. So with me, money isn't really the driving factor. It's the entire experience. I would rather, not that I would want to get paid low, but I would rather be paid in a way, in a decent way, even just starting out in a decent way, than to and have a great team to work with instead of making all this money and then still struggling because you're having stuff happen at home, there's issues going on that need your attention, and you can't get the help that you need.
Stalking my father, I was building the courage to talk to him. Just wanted to be-
Not to mention per diem is tax free. Whoa, that's pretty cool. So yeah, what became initially a challenge from one of my best friends ended up being the best choice I ever done. And not only that, I was able to help my school bestie because we worked together. Helped her get a job there, and it's they're able to work with her in the schedule that she has. So that way she, she's even got a job and she's doing what she's got to do. So I'm very happy about that. In some way, shape, or form, I've got a ride. So transportation is a struggle, but it's still doable. So excuse the coughing. That's my mom.
Just a cover story. I know it's odd. Keith Richards seems to remember everything, but many times that
All that money paid for my van bill. Oh, that's cool. That is very, very cool. It's funny that sometimes, even in just like simple conversations, you can take something as a challenge when you don't think that anything will come of it, and you could take it and run with it. And that's kind of what happened with me with working. And I was going to be grateful that I got hired. There's a lot of places, and I'm just going to put it out there. There's a lot of places that are looking for people. I started out, I could only work 4 or 5 hours a day. And I get done with work, I waddle out of there like an old penguin lady. That's very cool, van life. Now I've gotten to work, I can work 6, 7, almost 8 hours every single day. And my feet don't hurt nearly as bad. My back is okay. And I can walk just fine. Yeah, I still have pain. It's not nearly as bad as what it was in the beginning. And it's also getting your body used to the kind of work that you do, whether it be standing on your feet all day doing what I'm doing, stalking and checking people out, whatever. Or it could be a job in a manufacturing company, or it can be sitting at a desk all day working. It's getting your body used to the kind of job that you're dealing with. And there are people that are like, and I'm not knocking people that have a lot of pain, but I'm just saying the more that you try to endure to get yourself in a better situation, the better off you're going to be. Exactly, van life, because of what we've been through the past couple of years, and people clung on to unemployment. People don't want to People just don't want to work anymore. And the ones that do want to work are far and few between. There's people that don't understand the concept of working and putting in that dedication to work or to excel in the field that they're in. And the biggest thing is, if you want raises, you want to move up in at work, you've got to put the effort into it, and you've got to be able to somewhat be available if they need somebody. Don't just be there for your shifts and expect to just climb up the ladder that way. Sometimes it works out that way, sometimes it does not. All right. Now, van life, I wouldn't be able to do what you do, but I could work in the store, and that's really not a problem for me. At least not as much. So but I agree, no, not many people do want to work. That's why every place is still hiring people. Some people go in there and either switch jobs or just quit because they can't take it anymore, or whatever the case may be, whatever their personal problem is with working is. But focus yourself, apply yourself, hang in there, because the pain that you feel one day will eventually go away. If they do, they definitely don't want to work physically. Yes. You apply for a job, you're signing up to and understand that there is going to be work involved. You may be considered slacking at first, but picking it up and doing it every single time you're scheduled, getting yourself applied to your job and focusing on the job will definitely help you out in the long run. But there are some people that can't physically work, and I understand that. There are people that have a lot of pain, considering, they may be like what I've been through, where I've been out of work for a good while. And I'll tell you, it's intimidating that with the pain that you feel while you're trying to work or initially trying to get going on work. I can understand why it would make people want to quit. Right, van life. And the more that somebody does physically, it can help them in the long run. It builds muscle, and I think that's part of the reason why my body was in a lot of pain to begin with. It wasn't used to being up on my feet for a long time, let alone walking 5,000 to 10,000 steps a day, and that is on average. Tesla pays 25 to 30. Wow. That is really cool. But yeah, I do not mind the work. I love to help places out, especially if I believe in that's the place I'm working at. So I do want to encourage people. You're looking for a job, get your butt out there, do what you got to do, run the legwork, put the applications in, do everything you can to get a job. At least get a job until you find a better job. That's another thing. People quit quit working to go to find something better, but in the long run, it's not going to help. Reason being is there's you don't want to get off on the wrong foot going into another job when your original job needs you and you let them down. You don't want anything to look bad on you. And the way I look at it, work a job until you find a better job. You're guaranteed that job and you got the starting date. That's when I would personally put in a 2-week notice at the original job so that way you could start the next job. Right. It's not easy. Work is not meant to be an easy thing, whether it be the mental aspect or the physical aspect. In a lot of ways, I feel like work is meant to challenge you and to help you gain skills that you can use at, whatever job you're at.
Don't take these Jardians and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis. Taking Jardians with a sulfonylurea penicillin may cause low blood sugar.
All you do is walk fast all day. I bet that was a pain.
When hurting feet make you want to stop,
Yes, if it was, I would call it fun. Yes. Work is meant to challenge you in some way, shape, or form. And
find the tax expert that's right for you with TurboTax Live. You'll be matched with
work,
in your tax
now, don't get me wrong, work can be fun,
ensuring your
but work is
TurboTax Live.
not designed to be fun. Work is designed to help a company, or if you're self-employed, helping yourself by gaining to help you make a living wage instead of vacation. Exactly. You guys are right. But I just see so many people that they're like, I'm not working. I can't work. And I know people's got, whether it be some kind of physical or mental disability that causes them not to be able to. There's a lot of people that are on disability now that would love to be able to work, but they just can't.
The base just in time to do a sound check. The coordinator said Mannheim's second dressing room is actually a stage.
I've been off for 2 years. Yeah.
I have another one. If this wasn't a murder attempt,
Work can be good for your health. It gives you something to do. It gives you time. To me, it's just like how school was. Even school, though school was part of the time fun, it was basically work. That's what kids are learning to get the skills needed to get out in the world. But as kids, in order to appeal to kids, you have to make it somewhat fun. I miss having money. Yeah, it becomes really, really hard. It really does. When you want to go out and, like, with me, I always felt like a bum when we went out anywhere because I wanted to pave my way and I couldn't because I had no money. A couple of years ago, I went on kind of I wouldn't consider it vacation because it was so bad that but I was trying to get out and try to stand on my own 2 feet and move forward and get myself in a better situation rather than just being stuck. And if it wasn't for the help of everybody, and the donations that were given to me, which, by the way, I can tell you exactly where all of it went to. A lot of it went to bills, or was supposed to. I don't know for sure if it went to it or not. And it just, if I didn't have the help of a few people trying to help me to get set up to get a job, then I would have probably never focused on getting a job when I got home. I was disabled. Oh, wow, Van Loff. But if it wasn't for those people being kind to me, I probably would have never done it. I probably would have never stepped out and tried my hand at being somewhat on my own. And the situation that I was in, if I'd known then what I know now, I would have never stepped out and done it, because it was not a good experience. I ended up being basically secluded. And it was really hard. It was really, really hard. A lot harder than I thought it would be. And it didn't work out to my advantage. Didn't exactly get much help while I was there. It was just a mess. So I, that was a lesson learned. But thinking back on it now, if I hadn't tried that or attempted to do that, I would have never gotten to the point where I'm at now, where I just gung-hoed myself to get the job that I do have. And yes, I still have pain when I'm working. And surprisingly, thank you, show woman, for being here. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a good night. But it's just one of those things. And yes, I did ask for help. That was, during that time, was probably the only time I ever asked for help for myself. Unless I'm in a really, really bad situation, I will probably not ask for help again. That's just how I am. All right. Thank you, Van Lifebiker, and good luck on your surgery on Wednesday. Definitely going to be praying for you. Save that overtime. Yes, sir. I sure as hell will. I'm probably going to open up a savings account just for that overtime. So I think with all that, I am going to be getting off of here. Much love to each and every one of you guys. I will be back on at some point later on in this week. Much love to y'all. Praying for everybody that's dealing with the different situations, good and bad situations. And I hope you guys have a great night. Love you guys. Thank you guys for being here. And guys, you just never know what's out there until you spread your wings and fly.